Roll one, action.
Point Honors 2022.
Take one.
I think I started looking at Point when I was in high school, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't even know who I was when I was in high school. Seeing that representation and seeing that support does something to kids who have dreams and who have aspirations.
From the very first moment I was told that I was not going to be alone in that journey, that I was gonna get a mentor, that I was gonna have people from my cohort and from alumni.
I always describe Point Foundation as a family. I think the reason why I found family in Point Foundation was because I felt understood as a person.
Point stands out because there are not very many organizations that are fully dedicated to supporting queer and trans scholars. Having that support, whether financial or mentors or community in general, I think is vital for continuing to build the next generation of LGBTQ plus leaders.
Point for me is really a beacon of inspiration and a beacon of hope.
It was hard to find spaces that existed for LGBTQ plus people to get support in higher education, especially as someone who's a first generation student. Being able to tap into that support and community that Point Foundation has and that exists was really helpful.
When I was in high school, I was really in a dark place, and with the connections we've made, it really has inspired me and it really has motivated me to just keep going. Finding those moments of community give me life.
My goals are to help the agricultural industry, and I would really like to help drive down the cost of agriculture.
Pursuing a career in finance means much more in terms of representation and knowing that there's more people like me in those spaces. Being queer, being brown, those identities are something that I want to bring to the table.
And I would love to be able to look at social and political transphobia and how that affects the mental health of trans people of color.
Being LGBTQ has really taught me that having that aspect of my identity baked into all the different work that I do, my understanding of what it is like to come from a underrepresented background, thinking about how that intersects with different forms of economic policy.
It's not only legislation that is coming out at the state level, sometimes even proposed at the national level, but also the courts are maybe going to be less willing to protect LGBTQ rights. My responsibility is thinking through how can I use the knowledge and the tools that I gain through accessing a premier institution like Harvard Law in order to help promote positive rights and rights for the community.
I think what I've been focused on in med school and what I hope to continue to do is kind of improving how we approach LGBTQ care and how we support LGBTQ physicians, improving how we interact with health record system to make sure that it's affirming.
I hope to use my history of anthropology and my knowledge of anthropology to tell stories through media that feature queer and oppressed characters.
I've been an activist in China, a bisexual activist, feminist activist in China for 10 years. I want to educate and reach more people and to teach transnational feminism.
My dream is and has always been to create my own media outlet to give people of marginalized communities, specifically our community, a better representation, because I think that we can only achieve that if we are showing up for each other.
I eventually hope to work with Appalachians who are struggling with substance use disorders, especially in the queer communities in Appalachia who are often unseen or silenced.
It's really important to simply exist in spaces that haven't traditionally had people that look like me. I sort of challenge these dominant narratives about who we are and what we stand for and what we could possibly have to contribute to society. I can sort of champion the types of policies and programs that we actually need to help elevate our community members. That momentum will collectively build into something larger where we're able to push back in more meaningful ways.
I hope that somehow my advocacy since I was in high school can translate into real power and impact.
Point scholars are going to change the world. I think we are every single day changing the world for the better.
Queer thinkers are out-of-the-box thinkers, and our world needs that.
Point Foundation helped me find stability.
Thank you, Point.
Thank you, Point Foundation. I couldn't have done it truly without you.
Thanks so much for the support, Point.
Thank you so much, Point Foundation, for this amazing opportunity and for continued support to students like myself.
Thank you so much, Point Foundation.
Thank you, Point Foundation.
Thank you, Point, for giving me the opportunity to grow as an LGBTQ leader and for giving me a family in a country that was totally new to me.
Thank you, Point, for the security that you gave me.
Thank you very much, Point Foundation.
Thank you so much, Point Foundation, for all the opportunities that you've provided provided for me, for investing in me and seeing my true potential. I can only hope that your investment will continue to pay off, and I can show you that in multiple ways across my journey.
Thank you, Point, for investing in our collective future.